Can you hear that noise? And not this kind of rustling of my bubble wrap, it's actually the screaming from the clamouring hordes, just gagging to know what's going on with our forklift truck engine. As you can see, all the detritus around here, Nick has done a great job of pulling everything off, so we've now got a bare block, which means I can now send it down to the machine shop, and then they're going to actually bore out the block 4 different ways, so then you can end up fitting our new liners, which means then our pistons, we've got some new pistons, and they're going to go inside there. It'll be a lovely fit, fantastic kind of maximum compression, and therefore we're going to have a lovely sporty forklift in some months' time. Very cool. I say some months' time, but actually it'll be sooner than that, as this is the machine shop, classic and modern in Bracknell, and Paul, the owner, managed to squeeze me into his insanely busy schedule, so earlier this week his team started the boring work on the forklift engine block. No, it's not actually boring as a job. In fact, the job of boring the block is actually rather interesting. Unfortunately, we then found out that the head needed work, and it turned out the crank needs regrinding as well, so lots of episodes on this to follow, but just not this week. As I mentioned from Norway last week, I've still got lots of work to do for the next episode about the office build, but we won't broadcast any of that until the Ferrari has actually been turned over and hopefully starts. Now that's partly because I can't stand waiting to find out if the 308 really is a bargain or a money pit, and partly because building the walls in the kitchen in that behemoth is actually going to take quite a while, and I also need enough time to pop down to Jewson to choose and pick up the kitchen. But I am so looking forward to having that lovely warm refuge. Now, the episode I was hoping to get done this week was about sorting the cooling system on our 308 GT4, the cheapest Ferrari in Europe. Now, typically things started out okay, but yesterday we hit a bit of a snag late in the evening when I discovered a bodged repair on one of the original cooling pipes. Now, it was too late to order a new part, and the knock-on effect on the edit and then the transcription mean we were never actually going to get it finished until really late Friday, possibly even early Saturday. And as we all know only too well, it really does matter when we actually publish our videos. So we are now going to put that video up next week. No, really, we really will. And we're getting really close to finding out if the engine is good or not, so I'm certainly very excited about that. This week has been so busy I need a rest, but probably not in our bed car fast asleep, because that's only going to remind me of just how much you lot aren't interested in it. It's actually quite vexing, because you seem to love them out on the open road and at live shows like Carfest, but it seems that episodes about them just don't tickle your fancy, and I want to understand why. So as penance for your apathy, you should all have a deep breath, a deep drink, and then watch it right now, even if you've already watched it, and then leave me a note in the comments as to all the reasons why my oddball cars aren't of interest and what you would much rather watch. And then have a fantastic weekend. See you next week.